All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Phoenix here. We about to watch this ringside report by WWE 2K Studios. I don't know, 2K. You know who 2K is. 2K. I don't know if it's interactive. I don't know what it is. Either way, it's 2K, and we know what 2K do. Lazily putting together the same game every year from 2K, NBA. I'm pretty sure they're just doing the same thing with WWE. I guess y'all probably think I already got a negative output, but I really want this WWE game to be good. But I got zero faith. So you gotta have low expectations. You can't expect too much from these studios. But let's check it out though.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lionel Jinx. I am the creative director of the WWE 2K franchise.
Welcome to the
Creative
inaugural
director.
episode of Ringside Report.
Let's
Brought
go
to you
pause that real quick. So we got the creative director. So we got somebody we can blame. We can hit up Lionel on the Twitter for anything that's bad in the game when it drops.
all by
Also for the lack of ideas and the lack of potential match types that are nowhere going to happen.
If y'all take a look at WWE 2K22, you might see some massive differences from previous
Oh
cycles.
man, Edge looking
And
oh, they
this
got
is the
that
best
new
looking
model.
game yet. Just
Oh,
a
They
it's
little
keep
bit.
showing
pretty.
off Edge. They so happy
pretty.
about it. His hair
Lionel,
still
can you
looks like
talk about
trash.
how the teams
I'm
approach
sorry, I'm sorry.
production differently this
I'm not
time
trying to be
around,
negative. I mean,
starting with the
his model
superstars?
looks great, but his hair?
So the superstars,
One of my personal favorites, mainly because it's the team I work with most closely is the environments team. There are over 55 playable arenas, and we also have virtual crowd boards in the game.
55 playable arenas. Now that sounds great. That sounds like we got a lot of pay-per-view arenas. Probably got the outside arena, a few fun ones in there. The arenas has never been actually. I would take that back. It has been some WWE games that have not had a lot of arenas or the new WrestleManias or things like that. But there never been like a focal complaint of the community that the arenas are just like the most trash thing you've ever seen, you know?
Game as well, so you might see some familiar faces.
oh yeah, not my ugly mug.
You know, I always think it's strange too that Rey Mysterio is like the face of a lot of WWE games. Obviously they're always gonna target the younger audience with WWE games because that's what most of their audience is. It's not for a lot of older people who sitting here coming with their "Here Comes the Pain" and SmackDown Shut Your Mouth rants. Let me move this a little away from my mouth. Coming with their rants about how the old games are so much better. Rey Mysterio is a real favorite of the younger crowd, and your boy he never really gets pushed that hard in WWE, but he's always put on the video games. It's like, hey, we got John Cena, we got Rey Mysterio, no more Brock Lesnar covers or Triple H covers. They want the more popular with the younger crowd, with the kids, the PG crowd, I should say. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like Rey Mysterio. It's just that this is how the advertising works. Because I never see Rey Mysterio get pushed this hard in the actual WWE, but in the games, they put him on the cover of a few games, and then he's always like the first superstar they show off. Oh, here's Rey Mysterio. He's always one of the first. If you look at WWE games, I can guarantee you in more than half of the games, Rey Mysterio is one of the first models they always show off in new games
Gonna go ahead and
of like SmackDown versus Raw, not of like the older titles like before Here Comes the Pain.
invite all of them in.
So at this point, one of the things we very intentionally called out to our fan base is that we have a redesigned gameplay experience. And starting with Jason, can you talk about what that means to you and how gameplay hits different?
Hold on, before he gets into this, I'm gonna say what I've been wanting to say is that the ring looks really small. Like someone in the comments said it reminds them of a WCW ring, and that's exactly what it reminds me of. Like the wrestlers are so much bigger than the ring. In WWE, the ring is much bigger, where like the wrestlers have to take, I mean, they're all like over 6 foot, so they all have to take like at least, I don't know, 4 steps to, at least 5 steps to get to the middle of the ring. Where this is just like it's a stride and a half, and it's like you're at the middle of the ring, no matter what your size is. Like I don't think you can comfortably fit 6 wrestlers inside this ring for Royal Rumbles or Battle Royals, but we'll see. That's just speculation.
Different.
In
Like I said,
WWE
take my breath out of
2K22,
there.
we have a completely new animation system. This system has allowed us to greatly improve the look and
Now he said animation system. He didn't say new animations. It's a new animation system. The way the animations are handled is new.
the feel of the characters. Basically, everything from the way the characters move and they traverse through the world to how they align with each other during
See?
attacks has been completely overhauled and redone. Players are going to notice a significant difference the
Hmm.
moment they pick up the control.
Did you see that? It looks like a little like a new corner grapple, like a tie up for the corner. Instead of just going straight into your corner move, it looked like a tie up. Let me go back really quick.
Redone. Players are going to
Right there. This looks like a new tie up for the corner, and then you choose what attack you want.
notice a significant
As you can tell from the animation switch that moves into the third animation. So it wasn't very smooth looking, but it's not something that you'd notice right
difference the
away.
moment they pick up the controller. The characters are way more responsive than they've ever
Hmm.
been. You no longer feel like you're fighting to control your character to get them into
Ooh,
position to do what you want them to do.
hello, Jock. That's
Strikes,
clean.
dives, springboards, they all connect more precisely. And that's
More
also something
precisely.
that we really struggled with and took to heart and tried to resolve this year. Another key change that we've made to the game engine this year is our physics system. While the series has always had
Why why is Damian Priest doing a vice grip? Now, I don't know a lot about Damian Priest. But one thing I do know is he doesn't do the vice grip. This doesn't even seem logical for a man of his size. All right,
Havoc to some
just
degree.
let it go.
It was primarily used
Let it
for
go.
only hair and cloth simulation. For 2K22, we've completely integrated Havoc into gameplay, which has allowed us to introduce things like breakable props. The kendo
All
stick
right,
starts to fray
180
the more
Falcon
you use it.
Arrow.
Tables, they break more dynamically.
That ref animation was definitely they have not worked on the ref at all. Just from seeing that ref animation, that has been the ref animation since SmackDown versus Raw 2007 or 2008. That pin animation, how that ref moves, it's so jittery and so stiff.
The chair even breaks. And even elements within the environment itself are now
It looked like I started off as a frog
dynamically
splash.
breaking, such as like the corner barricade, instead of relying on a canned sequence animation. It's a really big change and has helped to make the entire gameplay experience feel more dynamic.
Awesome. Derek, same question.
So for
Is that a,
me, when we sat down to figure out how we were going to change gameplay for
oh, is that a choke
2K22, one
slam?
of the biggest things that we put as a priority was, and I want them to still be able to have a good time and be able to just kind of hop in with me. So we made sure that with our controls redesign, all of the core actions are something you can discover just by button mashing. You should be able to
All of the core actions you should be able to discover by button mashing. So grapples, strikes, running around. It's not many core actions in WWE. Irish whip, if people, if the younger crowd knows what Irish whipping is, I'm pretty sure they do. They watch a lot of wrestling. I mean, outside of like those, I mean, like, what else, what core actions would be so difficult that you would really have that as a concern? I don't think I know any WWE game where you pick up the controller and it's like, oh my gosh, how do I grapple? How do I strike? How do I run? They usually give you either in the loading or when you very first turn on the game, it's a tutorial that pops up like, oh, this is how you punch. This is how you do different attacks by pressing a direction in strike. I don't know why that would be a concern. It's never been a problem. I've never. Is there a forum that I don't know about where they're complaining about how difficult the controls are? Is, is there a forum? I don't see why that would be a focal point.
basically play.
Okay, so you've mentioned new controls and mechanics. Combat itself is centered around three inputs: light attacks, heavy attacks, and grapple. So, in this cycle specifically, what do those terms mean?
So light attacks, those are your quick strikes, the fastest attacks in the game. Heavy attacks, those are kind of like strong strikes from previous years. They're bigger, slower strikes, but they deal more damage. And then finally, grapples. Those are where some of the bigger changes come into play. So you press the grapple.
I love that he's explaining wrestling to wrestling fans. Oh, heavy attacks are a little bit slower, hence the name heavy attack. Light attacks are quicker. Light attack. I don't know. They introduced the game. They introduced very basics that you can understand from the word. Like even if I was a new gamer, never played a game before, and someone said light attack and then heavy attack, I could hopefully I can deduct that one attack is faster and the other attack is slower and stronger. And then as a wrestling game, I would hope that I understand what grapple is.
Button once to lock up with your opponent, but then from there you can press light, you can press heavy. Those will do your light and heavy grapples, but there's all
Okay.
sorts of other options. Irish whips, drag, carry, all of those things come from the grapple state. So once
Okay.
you grapple your
Drag
opponent,
carry.
you have a lot of possibilities opened up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I love how simple and engaging our new dynamic combo system feels. I don't need to memorize every superstar's move set, but instead I practice the timing of my inputs in order to execute.
He said, I don't need to remember every superstar's moveset. I just practice the timing of my combos and my inputs. Now, the contrast these against each other to say one is more difficult than the other, uh, depending on how strict the timing is, I'm pretty sure it's not that strict. It's a wrestling game. Um, I can't think of why remembering certain moves for your favorite wrestler's moveset um would be difficult. You know, such as, Chris Jericho doing a double underhook. What do you call that? Double underhook into the knee backbreaker, double underhook backbreaker, or doing like a The Rock's DDT or a suplex, wrestler specific moves of your favorites. I don't know why that would be hard. And now you're remembering combos.
Combos. Light attacks allow me to branch into a combo, and when I learn that light, heavy grab executes that move, I can take that and apply it to anybody I play with.
Light, heavy grab. He said he can take that and apply it to anybody, and he'll get that move. Does that mean that they centralized doing a DDT or a suplex into a combo? So if I ever want to do, let's say, an armbar, I don't know, an armbar, I'll do light grab with any character, and I'll always get an armbar, or do the combos, or do the ending, like the grapple part of the combos? Because obviously the strikes are going to be different. You get different strikes for different characters. So if I do light grab, will it always end in the same grapple, or do they end in different grapples per different character? What it sounded like he said is that it ends in the same grapple no matter where you go. Here,
I
say it
Heavy
again.
grab executes that move, allow me to branch into a combo, and when I learn that light, heavy grab executes that move, I can take that and apply it to anybody I play with.
He said light, heavy grab executes that move, specifying one move, and then he says it carries into the next. I mean, it goes into this one specific move, and he can take that to any character.
Light, heavy grab executes that move, I can take that and apply it to anybody I play with.
Anybody I play with is what he said. Ah, that's kind of strange for a wrestling game.
I love the exploration that our game provides to encourage the user to play with many different superstars and then choose whichever one is better suited for them.
He say choose the one that's better suited. Most people pick their favorite superstar. I don't think that having a lot of diversity um in characters is the problem. People pick their favorite superstars. Oh, I like Damian Priest. Oh, I like Rey Mysterio. Oh, I like Brock Lesnar. I think that's why people pick the characters, not because you've created a new, unique character with a set of moves that are vastly different from the next. And it's like, oh, I like this character over this one because I can do German suplex with Kurt Angle versus doing German versus doing Hurricane Ranas with Rey Mysterio.
And if you don't like the combos that we assign, we also support customizing combos. I'm personally really excited to
Oh,
see
okay.
what cool combos our community creates.
Okay, very quickly, I want to take it back to one point that Derek touched on earlier, which was about the accessibility of this game and being able to just pick it up and play. And I want to call this out mainly because I myself am a much newer player to WWE 2K. So for me, picking up and playing has been
I'm pretty sure Davian Priest doesn't do that, but I'm gonna let it go.
the whole experience. The controls are super easy to learn. And while my own habits fall back on button mashing the controller,
So you don't
even
play
though
the
we
game.
have that, I enjoy having to be very strategic and intentional about how I'm approaching this game, especially when it comes to the timing of things like reversals or finishers. So I can definitely attest to, hey, if you're feeling intimidated by this, please don't pick it up, try it out. You'll have such a blast. But also, if you're a vet, you've been playing this for a long, long time, can y'all talk about how vets can better show off their moves and what that means for the overall strategy of their experience?
So a lot of the
Hey, that was
strategy
a
for
nice
our
counter.
game comes with the new defensive options that we've added this year. So one of the biggest examples is breakers. Instead of reversals being the only tool for countering your opponent's attacks, grapples and combos actually don't use reversals. Instead, you counter them with a breaker. So when you're doing a grapple or a combo on your opponent, they can counter that attack by pressing the same light, heavy, or grapple input against you. So those moves are countered with breakers. Everything else is countered with a reversal. So no.
So it sounds like back to guessing. I mean, yeah, without the reversal stocks, we're back to guessing. So if you're gonna do a grapple, or if you're a button masher, it's really not gonna help you. If you're a button masher and someone knows you're mashing and they see that you only mash square or X on Xbox, they'll just stick to heavy and grapple button, and you'll probably wonder why you can never counter anything. And you'll probably mash more buttons, so you'll eventually get a counter. Um, or if you just mash X all the time or square on Xbox, on PlayStation, I'm sorry, then I can see how those matches are going. It's just gonna be a bunch of light attack mashing and countering back and forth. And then Y reverses everything else. So high flying moves, diving moves, probably finisher signature.
Knowing what kind of attack you expect your opponent to perform can already prime you to know how you want to counter it. So there's
So don't ever get telegraphed on a grapple. So you see how Rey Mysterio got turned around. It was like, oh, he's obviously gonna go for a grapple. Who wouldn't want to do a grapple? Your opponent's back is turned. It's like, hey, back suplex, German suplex, whatever suplex. It's kind of easily telegraphed right there.
already a mind game at that level. Then you have blocking, which is all new. If you hold down the reversal button, you enter a blocking stance, and that lets you withstand light, heavy, and running attacks.
He said let you withstand. I think Damien let it go right there, but that wasn't a very good example of blocking. He literally got kicked.
You hold down the reversal button,
All right, he's blocking.
you enter a blocking stance, and that
He still got hit. What happened? Did he let go of block? What?
lets you withstand light, heavy, and running attacks. And then you can counterattack
He said light, heavy, and running attacks. By blocking, you can withstand running attacks. He couldn't even withstand that low kick.
faster than your opponent can after blocking. You can also dodge with the right bumper. So you can
Okay.
kind of choose a direction and get out of the way really quickly if you time your dodge correctly, but it's higher risk than a block. And then when you're on the ground, you also can button mash to get up faster, or you can press right bumper to do a quick get up.
Apparently they don't remember SmackDown versus Raw 2011. Oh, when you get online, people were literally unpinnable. You cannot pin people online. Literally impossible. No matter what you did, maximum damage or the maximum resistance on mashing was not enough. Hopefully they raise that resistance so that even if you have a turbo controller, because you know people are going to cheat online. If you have a turbo controller, you won't be able to kick out. Hopefully, you can damage a person enough where the kick out is so difficult that even a turbo controller can't kick out because that's what people are gonna do. They're gonna get turbo controllers. They're gonna find a way to cheat the system, or maybe the system's not fleshed out enough where that it's actually having enough resistance that normal people can just mash their way out of every single pin.
At the cost of some resource. So when you have all of those defensive options available to you, it makes when you're on defense, it's a lot more strategic, but also when you're on offense, you have to be careful with how you want to attack your opponent so that they don't counter you.
So our community has been speculating about the HUD and like guessing like what, these little glowing meters mean and all this stuff.
Yes.
Jonathan, I'm going to let you be the first to break this down and break the news. And let's dive into the HUD and give the community some clarity here.
So our goal was to create a HUD that strips down all unnecessary aspects and simply gives the user the information that they need without distracting the user from the in-game action. So at the very top, you'll have the vitality meter, and this is basically your health bar.
That's
Below
easily
that,
understood.
you'll find the special meter, which is a resource.
Now, this special meter that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I like when you had like finisher. Well, he's gonna explain some more. I'm sorry. Let him go.
You want to spend to perform signatures, paybacks, or defensive actions. Finally, at the bottom is your finisher meter, where you can store up to 3 stocks.
So your special meter allows you to use your abilities such as paybacks, probably resiliency also, uh, all that good stuff. All those special abilities. Okay. So they made a meter for it now, instead of you just having like a specific amount or getting a certain amount of damage or different things that would different situations that would cause for you to be able to activate those. Now it's just a meter.
So there's one thing that's missing that I think a lot of people are like, where's the reversal stock? Can you talk a little bit more about like, the changes we made there?
Yeah,
This
sure.
Damian Priest.
Yeah, obviously the biggest change that we made was removing the reversal stock from the HUD. We felt that 2K20's matches came down to how the users manage their reversal stock. We wanted to bring.
That's exactly what they came down to. Once you're out of reversal stocks, you can no longer play the game. You have zero control. There's nothing you can do. You can just pray that your opponent messes up. That's it.
A bit more skill to a match by giving the users unlimited reversals, but making them a little bit more difficult to execute. In our internal matches with 2K22, we get wild swings and back and forth and a bunch of oh so close moments.
And I'm not against reversal stocks being gone. I thought the reversal stock should have been more centralized around a certain amount rather than giving characters different numbers. Because having 4 reversal stocks versus 3, that was it. Like if you go 1 for 1, the one with more comes out on top. You have to cheese your way doing stomps or glitched moves to get these reversal stocks off of a character with 5 or 4 reversals if you only had 3. Made some characters online like you didn't really even want to play them because it's like, oh, he doesn't have enough counters. I'm just gonna get shitted on.
Moments that we really feel make the match memorable. And in addition to that, we added a new stun meter that shows up on the characters when it's close to being filled. So we're really excited to show off our new HUD and for our users to play with all of the new additions and our streamlined approach.
Cool. Like one of the things that, at the end of the match where I'm like, in previous years or, iterations, once you basically knew once your opponent didn't have any reversal stock, all you had to do was hit your Sega finisher, match was over.
Yep.
That's not the case anymore, right? Like someone can just pull out like a reversal and there's this back and forth. And so Derek, can you talk about the how strategy is incorporated into that part of this new mechanic?
Yeah, so with reversals no longer being on a limit, that opens up a lot of possibilities for how your opponent can counter you, right? Like they could always pull a reversal out, or if you're using combos and grapples, they could hit you with a breaker. But the stun meter that Jonathan mentioned earlier, that's one of your biggest tools for making sure that you can pull off your biggest moves without getting countered. So lighter attacks, while they don't do as much damage to the vitality of the opponent, they're better at filling your opponent's stun. And if you can get their stun meter filled, that's your opportunity to perform an attack without the risk of getting a reversal or a breaker.
So you just basically wait to stun your opponent to use your finisher. No more run out the reversal stocks. They just moved it over into a new mechanic. They haven't effectively. It sounded like they were trying to eliminate when they first mentioned it, but now it sounds like no, no, it's still here. We just moved it over to the stun meter. So people are gonna spam lights to get you stunned, and then you're gonna counter the lights because you know they want to stun you because they want to use their finisher. But then it also creates a dynamic of what if they do light finisher, and you're trying to counter the second light so you don't get your stun up. So I guess it is some more it's some more what do you say some more strategy right there.
Button mashing is back, y'all. Like, I love it. It creates a whole new level of like intensity in those tight matches. And yeah, like I gotta practice my
That
finger strength
grapple whiff.
on that just so I can.
Let me see if I
And
was right about
yeah,
that.
like I gotta practice my finger
Yeah. You see that?
those tight matches. And yeah, like
That grapple whiff is kind of funny. So yeah, it still has a grapple state at the turnbuckle like I was talking about earlier.
I gotta practice my finger strength on that just so I can beat everyone down when this game goes online.
All right,
That
y'all.
ref
We can
pin
go
was
on and
terrible.
on,
I'm sorry, that ref pin was terrible. Not the speed of it, but the way the ref looks as he pins is just terrible. But it's been like that for years. I don't mind the timing because you have to have time to mash the button. It's a video game. It's not real life. You need time to mash the button. If the ref counts too fast, you guys are gonna be really sad. You're gonna be you're gonna be upset.
but unfortunately, we're out of time. So to close out, now that we're nearing the end of production, what are y'all looking forward to most for the game, whether for your own experience or with players?
All right, so I'm gonna end the video right there. You guys go watch this video on your own. I'll put a link to this video inside my description. Um, I don't know if I really have any final thoughts on the game. I mean, we just gotta wait for it to come out. That's it, right? Once it comes out, then we can go to Twitter, post all our glitchy clips, post all the hilarious things that are happening that 2K didn't work on in 2 years. Or maybe the game works perfectly fine, and there's just a lack of content. There's just single match, tag match, battle royal, the same matches we've gotten every year. There's no new matches. We got our Hell in a Cell, we got our Elimination Chamber, we got our Steel Cage match, table match, ladder match, Money in the Bank. But we don't get things like Casket, Buried Alive, I don't know, Ambulance. Sounds like they got some backstage matches, but hopefully, I don't like the new backstages where you are limited to certain attacks. They everything's like a punch, and it's just like leads you into an item. It should be a control thing where you should be able to choose that you want to try to lead a character to into an interactive rather than just it's like, oh no, you're not gonna body slam somebody out here. Like, no, I want to body slam. I want to do I want to do hurricanranas. I want to do power bombs. I want to do suplexes, German suplexes, brain busters, everything. I want to do all my whole arsenal. I want to do in the backstage. Um, so we'll see when it comes out. Yo, thank you guys for watching.
Specifically, let's start with Jason.